Fala galera do Mundo Mágico, here's Adriana again for another video, and this time we're gonna talk about the beasts themselves. So today we're gonna talk about the beasts in South America, more specifically in Brazil. So the upcoming movie probably will have many of those beasts featured in the movie. But we'll see the ones that already appeared in the previous movies and even on the Harry Potter saga. So let's have a look in each of them. So the previous movie in Crimes of Grindelwald, we were introduced to the chupacabra, which is a beast from South America, and also in Brazil it's the folklore about the chupacabra is very strong. And the interesting thing about the chupacabra is that according to the story of from I think it's Pottermore from J.K. Rowling, it says that chupacabra is half lizard, half homunculus. And so what does this mean? So in Brazil we have this belief that possibly the beasts that were killing cattle that we used to believe was a chupacabra was actually a lizard, maybe the calangus from the north of Brazil, which are beasts that actually suck blood, feed from blood from cattle. So that's one of the stories that run around there in Brazil. Also, another idea is that there is also this creature, homunculus, according to the beliefs. I believe it's North Europe folklore. So it's just a little being that was alchemically made and he lives in a bottle, sort of thing. So also we have somewhat the same sort of folklore in Brazil, but it's not like anything actually created alchemically or anything like that. What is believed is that it's a little devil, as we call it. It's a diabinho. So the way it goes is that it's hatched from a chicken egg, and you leave it another animal to hatch it, and then after 40 days it's born, and the person that gets it can keep it, and this little beast, or whatever you want to call, we call it the diabinho, will give luck to the person that owns it. But then as folklore goes by, if the person who does that, when he dies, he goes to hell. But the idea is that also this kind of being should perhaps suck from blood from animals. So there is another idea linked to the chupacabra, and maybe that's why it was thought, okay, this could be the reason why the chupacabra is believed to be half lizard, half homunculus, whatever the idea is. But yeah, we were introduced to one of them, the Antonio, in Crimes of Grindelwald, and probably is gonna play a major part in the upcoming movie, since we are going to Brazil as well. So the next beast that we see, or I wouldn't say a beast itself, but it's an underbeing in South America and in Brazil. It's the caipora, or the curupira, which is this legendary being that actually protects the forests in Brazil. So the story goes that because this underbeing is friendly to the pain of animals, it's concerned about the pain of the animals, and it's friendly with the animals and the forests, so it will protect them. And he had this being has fiery hair, red hair, and its legs are always turned upwards. Instead of when he walks, instead of looking like he's walking forward, his footprints will point backwards. So, and it has it that way, so hunters who will be looking for places to hunt animals will be lured to go in the opposite direction, because the Curupira has its legs pointing the opposite direction where he's going. So the person will always think that the animals are in the opposite direction and will just trick them, so they'll never find the animals to hurt them. We know that there is a story about the Caipora from the Quidditch World Cup, which happened 4 years ago. So what happens is that there was the team for the World Cup was what is that? What they call that? The mascots, and then each country wrote the mascots, but whoever organized the World Cup didn't think it through. I think it was in Argentina where the World Cup in 2014 was hosted, and they didn't think this through, so they put a big lake there, and then there are two underbeings or beasts that conflicted with each other, and they actually put up a big fight in between them, and then when people getting to intervene, so the Curupira saw, or the Caipora saw humans getting there to stop the beasts, and they felt threatened and thought that they were gonna hurt the beasts and the underbeings, so they start attacking everybody. So it was just a big mess. So that's the way that the Caipora were. They are very strongly about protecting wildlife and animals and beasts, so that's what they reacted in the Quidditch World Cup 4 years ago. And they probably gonna play a major part in Rio de Janeiro in the upcoming story of Fantastic Beasts, and as we know, they are the guardians of Castelo Bruxo. So this is another of the underbeings or beasts that we know are from Brazil, and they might be part of the story in Fantastic Beasts 3. Another thing that we know about beasts in Brazil is the fire slugs that Newt Scamander were researching, according to, I think that was in one of those chocolate frogs cards, or maybe it was in one of those video games with all the characters from Harry Potter, from the Wizard World, but I don't know exactly. We don't have much information about that, but they might be part of a Fantastic Beasts 3. And yeah, we have very ferocious slugs there that they not necessarily fire people, but have real fire, but the lizards are so deadly that their poison feels like it's burning your skin. I remember growing up when we would visit my grandparents. They have trees, they have those slugs, and I remember a neighbor coming to trim my grandparents' tree just for the kindness of his heart, and the poor man just got one of these slugs that fell on his arm from the tree and burned his skin, and he was balancing over a really tiny fence, and he fell off. So I remember that strongly, because it was like, oh, poor man, he was trying to be kind and he got hurt. But yeah, so that's how deadly slugs can be in Brazil. They are fire slugs, they're furry. If you see like a slug that's hairy, fluffy, don't touch it, because they are deadly. You will feel the burn in your skin. probably is kind of the same reaction that you would have with jellyfish here, and if you live not near to the ocean, you know, you feel like this burning sensation in your skin. So same thing with fire slugs in Brazil. They are not like fantastic beasts, they're real insects, real animals in Brazil. So yeah, if you go to Brazil, beware of those. And they might be part of a Fantastic Beasts tree, because Newt was researching them. Perhaps we do not know at what point of history he was doing that. It might be now that, you know, we know that they are all going to Rio de Janeiro. That might be the occasion where he finds out about them, and hopefully not in a bad way. Okay, and another beast that we might be seeing in the upcoming movie is the Swooping Evil. The Swooping Evil, it doesn't say it's from South America, it doesn't say it's from Brazil, we do not know much about it, but for me, partially resembles the big butterflies, blue butterflies that we have in Brazil. And not everything in Brazil is deadly, people, but I gotta say that the butterflies also, they can be deadly. Especially the colorful ones, they can be very dangerous because they carry poisons in their wings. Oh, that's my little daughter. So as I was saying, you can the butterflies in South America, they are big, like the Swooping Evil, and their poison might work somewhat the poison of the Swooping Evil, you know, can be deadly. But I think the Swooping Evil is actually from Brazil and is actually gonna play a major part in the story. And if you wanna know why, just watch my previous video about Abernathy being Corvus Lestrange and everybody going to South America for a reason. But putting short there, why I think Swooping Evil is gonna be a beast from South America and gonna play a major part in the story is because the Swooping Evil is that's my daughter. See why it's so hard to shoot videos in my household. I have kids and I have, you know, extended family, so sometimes it's just hard to shoot videos. Yeah, so the idea is that, you know, the tale of the Swooping Evil, according to the art for the books, resembles so much with the vial of the blood pact that Albus Dumbledore and Gellert Grindelwald did with each other. So I believe that there might be a connection there. Perhaps the Swooping Evil poison was used in the making of the blood pact. And as I was saying, the poison of the Swooping Evil, it kind of functions in the same way as the big blue butterfly in Brazil. Like butterflies in Brazil, we don't touch them because the most colorful they are, the deadly they are. So you know, same thing with the Swooping Evil. It looks beautiful, the color of it, but you know, they have this poison that can, you know, do powerful things there. But in the case of the Swooping Evil, I don't think it's, you know, all evil or bad at all, because then, you know, that it will erase bad memories. And as the name says, it's swoop evil, so it's, you know, it cleans away all the bad memories on your mind, as it was used in the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So that's another beast that I think it's gonna be part of the Fantastic Beasts tree in Rio de Janeiro. Another one that I think will be part of the movies, they're not exactly fantastic beasts, but I'm hinting that they'll have some major part in that. Birds. Why I say so? Because in the scene where Nagini and Credence are walking past a French market and he steals bird feed to feed his cheek, all the birds were around the market, although they were all in France, they were all Brazilians or South American parrots there. So we saw this green and colorful parrots, and also we saw a white macaw there. So I'm guessing that somehow parrots, birds in general, but specifically parrots, will play important part in Fantastic Beasts 3 in Rio de Janeiro. And another thing worth of mention that comes from Brazil as well is the boa constructor that we might remember from the first Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone. So Harry learns that he can talk to the snake in the first movie, and he talks to a boa constructor, and this snake is from South America. Although we know that the snake was bred in captivity and was grown there in the zoo, and has never gone to South America, never seen that. And when Harry freed the snake slides away, trying to go home. Hopefully found its home in Brazil again. But because we have some art with snakes on it in the Diagon Alley in the parks in Universal Studios in Orlando, the Wizard World of Harry Potter, there's this store that opened just a couple of months ago called Globus Mundi. It's they say that the store is a travel agency. It's just for, you know, props. And but the interesting thing, they have posters of different countries there. One of them is Brazil, and the poster, if you check it out, if you can have a look at it, it has the picture of a caipora, or a curupira as we call it. J.K. Rowling's call it a caipora, we call it a curupira mostly in Brazil. And so it has the caipora and two snakes, one on the top and one on the bottom. So I'm guessing that snakes also will be playing a major part in the story of Fantastic Beasts 3, and also perhaps it has something to do with Nagini, and I do not know, maybe we'll find out something more about her and how she became Voldemort's snake in this next movie, and also that's a far out guess, but perhaps she will meet with the ancestors of the snake that Harry Potter met in the zoo in the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So I do not know, perhaps there will be a connection there. So, but I know that snakes also will play an important part in this upcoming movie just because of the art that we saw related to Brazil. Another thing that might be part of the movie, but this is just I'm hopeful for that. It's not big hints of it. I hope we'll have Botus in the upcoming movie, which are dolphin men, and the lore in Brazil goes that there are dolphins that can turn into men at night time, and then they can seduce women and so on and so forth. But the interesting thing about the story is that, like, mostly they're charming men, and you know, and the only way that you can know if he is a dolphin man or a real normal man is that he's always wearing a hat, and if you take out his hat, you'll see a hole in the top of his head, like you would see in the head of a dolphin. So, and you know, although I call the seducing part of the story, I just like it, the idea of dolphins, because they normally are very beautiful creatures, and uh, despite the you know, the whole seducing part in Brazil, I like the story that a dolphin couldn't turn into a man and you know, express himself, and so I think it's a nice idea for the upcoming movie. And I'm just shouting shooting a far guess on it, because the banner that that we saw in the not the banner, the crest, that looks like four schools, for schools within a wizarding school, for houses, that's what we call houses within a wizard school, might be played also in the Castelo Bruxo. And I'm shooting at this just because and the Minister of Magic in France, there's this crest, and you know, everything is pointing towards going South America, and there is this crest there that has this division, and one of the creatures that appear there, it's hard to see, but it's either a flower or a dolphin, in my opinion. So if it's a dolphin, perhaps that's what it might be hinting at, so I do not know. And the last one that I think is gonna be part of the next movie, it's the Yaras, which are the Brazilian mermaids. And I think because it's depictured in the French Minister of Magic panel there, you know, in the dome, with pictures of one mermaid above the sea level and few others on the bottom. So I'm guessing this lonely mermaid will be guiding the navigators towards land, and she might have an important part in the upcoming movie, and you know, in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. The Yaras play a strong part in Brazilian folklore as well, and so strong that normally they Brazilians at the end of the year, they also have, it's hot there, it's summer, so when we have the new year there, normally people place big some people will place small boats, some people will place bowls with offerings to the mermaids, or the mermaid goddesses. So this is really strong, and it's so real that people really believe in and do that every single year. So every new year, people jump seven waves and offer, some people to 3, it depends of who you talk to. Some people say 7, some people say 3, but they will jump several waves and then put either a small boat with full of food and candle and roses and flowers, and or a bowl, and either on the sand, so the sand washes the shore and takes them away to the ocean, or the little boats they put in the water. And then and the next day when they come back and notice that everything is, the beach is clean again, they always think that, you know, the mermaids took it, but actually it's just, you know, the custodians of the city, they just clean up everything, and next day is all clean. But anyways, but it's a major belief in Brazil, and it's a strong part of Brazilian culture. So I'm believing and I'm guessing that it will be a important part in the story as well, just because we see mermaids depicted in the dome and the Minister of Magic in France. So that's all for today. It was a long one, but there are many, you know, beasts and other beings that I want that we have to talk about, that probably will be part of Fantastic Beasts 3. So thank you to hang in there, and if you like what you have seen about you know, Fantastic Beasts, and please subscribe and hit the bell so you can get all the notifications from new videos that I post. And also, if you think about any other beasts that you might think that might be in Fantastic Beasts 3 that I didn't talk about, comment below, and then I can check it out and we can talk in another video. Okay, and today is all that I have for you, and ciao ciao.